I'm Gerald Chambers. Hello. Back at you with another video. And I got 3 situations that I want to talk about today that I think might be helpful, right? Might help you improve your life, might help you figure out some stuff. Okay, so situation number 1, co-parenting. Here's the conflict. The couple is at the point in their relationship where they've split up their household now. They're getting a divorce, 2 separate households, and they have children, young children. And they have to, because of their work situation, they now have to get some help with the children. And so the conflict is that mom wants to know who the people are that are going to be around the children. And dad feels like that's an attack on his autonomy, that he gets to decide. He knows the people. Okay, so there's the conflict. How open do we want to be about the people that are going to be around the kids? Now, and what I'm trying to do is get them to talk about it, not necessarily figure it out yet. There's a lot of things to work out, and then we're not going to be able to figure it out in one session. But what I'm trying to do is just get them to talk about what's going on. Okay, so now here's the problem. Here's one of the big problems, is that usually when people get divorced or when people have children and they start seeing other people, the people that they see really want to be with them. They don't necessarily want to be with your kids. And they'll treat the kid, they can at times treat the kids poorly because the kids kind of interfere with them being with you. So that's one thing that we got to consider. The other thing that we got to consider is a lot of cases of child abuse, most of them I would say, sexual abuse, physical abuse, are perpetrated by people that we know, that the family knows, that the person knows. So dad's position is, well, I know the people, I'm vetting them good enough and all that, I don't need to tell you. And mom was like, no, I need to know who they are, right? And I'm like, well, you guys getting a divorce, don't think your vetting process is all that good. Don't put too much stock in it. One of the reasons why we have a family is because when you bring people around, family members can vet them. So your ex-wife might be able to vet them, might be able to see something you don't see. Because in the romantic stage of a relationship, there are red flags and we paint them green. So it might be a good idea to figure out how you want to vet people, come to some agreement about who needs to be around the children, and so that you don't end up making a unilateral decision that goes bad and then you taking all the responsibility for it. So we need to talk about this. That's why I'm trying to get them to talk about it. Now dad is having some trouble talking about it because, he on some level, he feels like he can't talk to his ex-wife. And she feels like, oh, I want to be open and I want to talk about it until he says something. And then when he says something, she, rah! Because a lot of times professional class women, you can't tell them nothing. and so, and a lot of times we don't realize how difficult, I don't realize how difficult it is for my wife to talk to me. I think I'm easygoing and she can turn to me anytime. But if you ask her, she'll tell you, no, he ain't that easy to talk to. I'm not even that easy to get along with. So I'm trying to make them aware of that. Standing in the blind spot. So that's one of them. So when you start farming out help and farming out jobs for people when they're going to be around your children, you better make sure that you got some kind of plan in place to vet them, because we don't know. And, children are abused by Cub Scout leaders, priests, teachers, family members, uncles and cousins and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is an area. So this is one reason why this is the downside of having 2 households, because now it becomes more difficult to do things that you need to do, and you start farming that stuff out and it becomes more complicated. So we need to talk about that. Okay, that's one case, something to put on your mind. right? Here's another case. A couple is fighting, right? And dude might be right. The guy might be right, but his presentation is so bad. He's getting so dysregulated, angry. He's turning into a bully, right? That his wife can't hear him. So through an inability to accept personal responsibility, maintain his composure, he's creating his own problem. He's making it more difficult to talk to and negotiate with his partner, and basically pushing her out the door. So he needs to add some tendernism. That's a therapeutic term. I'm trying to get it into the DSM. You might be right, but you might be presenting it in such a way that nobody can hear you. So guys, men and women, right? Not just guys, but we got to be aware of we got to have some conversational awareness. Now, he feels like he wants his wife to go to therapy, right? He thinks that's the answer. You need to go to therapy. Well, if she goes to therapy, she might stop messing with you. They don't guarantee therapy's going to turn out the way you want it to, right? She needs to be able to talk to you. You need to be able to calm down. And this is not just men, this can be women too. You can't just say whatever you want to your partner. Okay, here's another therapeutic term. Brown and serve. Don't just pull it out of the freezer and serve it up. Warm it up a little bit. Right? You got to be aware of what you're saying. You got a difference with your partner, and the way that you express that difference makes all the difference in the world. Once you start throwing F-bombs and calling names and all that, you've already lost. You remember in Harlem Nights, the way Red Fox and Della Reese were talking to each other?
Are you saying I'm stealing? The man didn't say you were stealing, girl. Now come on over here and sit down and shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up, Benny. I would tell you to kiss my ass too, but you probably can't find it, you blind motherfucker. Fuck you, bitch.
You know that. You can't argue like that. I think that's gonna work. No. You gotta have some awareness. So anyway, that's the second one, right? So that's what I'm trying to help them with. Trying to help them with that. Okay. Now the third one, homicidal ideation, right? So the person has come to me for something else. But one thing that's come out is that they got caught up in something where they feel like a victim, and they want to kill the other person. They just want to create some mayhem or some, and they're scared to say that, right? Because they think that I'm a 5150 them. And so what they say to me is, I need to say how I feel so that I don't create a plan. That's what the person said to me. And I agree. And the problem is, at what point do I make a report? Do I need to make a report? Because, sometimes people make threats that they don't intend to carry out, and sometimes the threats are real, right? So that's the hard part for me. But I still think that the person needs to say what they need to say, right? The exact nature of what's going on, right? Because that can be stress relieving. Now, I got enough rapport with the person. We've been together long enough for me to realize that that's what they're doing. I know this person a little better. Or at least I think I do. Hopefully you guys won't pick up the newspaper and find out that somebody that's going ape shit that's under my care. But this is not a therapy client that I'm having this conversation with. This is somebody that I'm working with in 12-step recovery, right? So it's a little bit different. But I still got to be careful. I still got to be careful for somebody hurting themselves or hurting somebody else, because that's just being a good person, right? But anyway, that's the dilemma. Now, I happen to agree with the person that you need to be able to say what it is, have your feelings. Like a lot of times people try to forgive people before they have their outrage. So I'm a supporter of having your outrage first and then try to forgive them. You know, because if you try to forgive somebody before you have your outrage, it's really just kind of bunk. That don't really work. Even if they say something, here it comes. It's all gonna come out. So anyway, I don't know. I just thought I wanted to like talk about these things, right? Co-parenting and some of the problems. Like bringing new people around your children, you gotta watch them. Right? Don't trust your vetting process. Get help. Bring them around. Let the other part family members meet them if you can. If you got the kind of relationship where you guys can talk. And then don't be so demanding, belligerent. Don't be a bully in the relationship. Add some tenderness. You know, you might be right. You might be right. What you thinking and feeling might be right. But if you're too much of a bully, you can win the battle and lose the war, right? You can negotiate. You can be such a hard bargainer that you win, but the other person doesn't want to deal with you anymore. And then the third one was dealing with homicidal ideation. Like everybody wants to slap the shit out of somebody from time to time. We don't do it. And I'm not minimizing threat assessment. You know, you gotta assess threats now. You know, so I will call. I will 5150, right? I will make a phone call if I think there's really something to be worried about, right? Um, and it's a risk. But I think I know this particular person, I think I know well enough to know what they are doing. If you got the kind of insight to say, I need to say this so that I don't create a plan, that's a fair amount of insight, right? And so that was helpful. And then, of course, I know I've been with this person for a while, so I kind of know them. So anyway, hey, if you got last thing, if you got somebody in your family or somebody you know that's got a drug problem, smash that like button, right? If you got somebody in your family that you gotta hide your stuff from when they come over, smash the like button. If you got somebody in your family that you got invited to the barbecue, smash the like button. And look at the banner on Heart Connection, and you can make a little donation if you think these videos are helpful. $2, $3.